So we are by the beautiful big jheel in this picturesque city of Bhopal. It's one of the iconic landmarks of the city, said to have been built by the legendary Raja Bhoj, who brought in the waters from the nearby tributaries and rivers to this water body. But the water level here this year is low because of less rainfall. And that brings us to the big political divide of this Madhya Pradesh election, the farmers' crisis.
एकमात्र एजेंडा रहा है विकास, विकास।
जब हमारी सरकार आएगी किसान को लगेगा कि ये मेरी सरकार है।
भाइयों बहनों,
Unfortunately, in the last 4.5 years, the Prime Minister spoke about doubling the income of the farmers. Instead, what have they got in return? They've been beaten by stones, beaten by sticks, been shot, been stripped and put into jails.
Some people, particularly the opposition, and we have seen MLAs of the Congress party in Madhya Pradesh inciting almost riot-like situation in the name of working for the farmers for political reasons.
Let me bring in Prabhash from Bharat Times. Prabhash, इसका जो farmer जो crisis है, इसका context समझाइए, क्योंकि एक तरफ मध्य प्रदेश में agriculture की growth बहुत ज़्यादा हुई है, economic आंकड़े ये दिखाते हैं, दूसरी तरफ farmers का unrest चल रहा है 2017 से।
जब मध्य प्रदेश विभाजित नहीं हुआ था, छत्तीसगढ़ इसके साथ था, तब से मध्य प्रदेश की पहचान एक कृषि प्रधान राज्य के तौर पे है। उसके बाद अगर आप देखेंगे 2010 से 15 तक मध्य प्रदेश में सरकारी आंकड़ों के मुताबिक 13% से ज़्यादा कृषि में ग्रोथ रेट है। लेकिन उसी के साथ जो इस समस्या का दूसरा पहलू है कि 2011 से 15 तक मध्य प्रदेश में 6000 से ज़्यादा किसानों ने खुदकुशी की है। 2016 में अकेले 1600 किसानों ने खुदकुशी की है।
Hold that thought, Prabhash. Let me bring in Ms. Nirmala Buch, who's a former Chief Secretary of Madhya Pradesh. Ma'am, as a bureaucrat, when you see issues like the agitation by the farmers and the Chief Minister's response to it, do we expect too much of the state here, or is there something, there's much more that Shivraj Singh Chauhan could have done?
The problems of farmers are much more than just government giving loan or maafi karan loan. That's not the solution. It's a one-time thing. Someone may get something. But what is needed is a long-term policy where you know how to deal with the farmers' issues of inputs, of quality, of productivity, of marketing in a globalized world. And then as far as the subsidies and all are concerned, what the government has done, they have been doing a lot of things, not all completely satisfying, but lot of good work.
Let me ask Rashid Kedwai, who also joins us. Rashid, as somebody who lives in Bhopal, who's been tracking this sector as well, Shivraj Singh Chauhan brought into play a lot of changes in the way farming is done in Madhya Pradesh. Is that something that's boomeranged on him politically?
There is a whole set of problems. It's not just about having a right kind of crop and fertility and water and irrigation and all, but it's also about lack of godowns, the cold chain, and getting a fair price. That if you go to Indore Mandi, you will actually know what is wrong with this Madhya Pradesh agriculture.
We're also being joined by Sanjeev Singh of the Times of India. Sanjeev, this is a paradox here, right? On the one side, Madhya Pradesh has outperformed many other states on agriculture parameters. On the other side, you see farmer suicides, as Prabhash was pointing out. So, where do the twain meet?
The fact is that when you produce more, you're asking farmers to produce more. But then, is there a price mechanism in place? What are you giving to them once that produce is done? Do you have enough infrastructure to keep it safe? So, there are the two things. So, on the one hand, we keep talking about farm loan waivers. Congress is saying we'll give a farm loan waiver. But then, what happens to the economy?
No government can change the entire economics of agriculture. It will take a sustained effort, long-term policies. But if any crisis is there, then government should have been seen to be addressing that.
I think he comes up with very fantastic out-of-box ideas to work with the farmers or to work with various segments of the society. And therefore, his policies and schemes are not just, not only do they reach out very well, but I think they're very efficiently delivered as well.
There's a bigger question here of, as Ms. Butch was also pointing out, of how the economy is moving at a totally different pace to what we are and our political vocabulary, if you like, hasn't kept pace with that. But let me bring in Venu, the political editor of the Times of India in Bhopal. Venu, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, politically, in this election, after the firings in Mandsaur, he brought in place a lot of measures. Can you tell us a bit about what those measures were? Have they worked? And is that enough to stave off anti-incumbency?
Let me put this in perspective. See, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, for him, Mandsaur is the epicenter for farmer unrest. Whatever happened in Mandsaur, it dented his image as a farmer's son or farmer heavily, for which he had left with no other option but to take some measures, very knee-jerk measures. I'll tell you one of the examples being that first he announced rupees 10 lakh as compensation for those who killed in firing. And later on, within hours, couple of hours, he raised it to 1 crore. For a few days later, he sat on dharna, calling the people of the bereaved families of those, like farmers killed. And then he announced later on, as he saw that Bhavantar and everything was not falling in place because of market dynamics were not fitting in, so he announced bonus. Wheat bonus unprecedented, which never announced. Then onion bonus unprecedented, which never announced.
So the larger issue that of farmers is not something which is unique to Madhya Pradesh. In state after state, we see an agrarian crisis and governments essentially responding with a whole bunch of freebies and a whole bunch of stops. Whether that will work or not on the ground politically is something that we'll have to wait and see in Madhya Pradesh.